Have you ever heard the story of the monk and the bell? He was tasked with ringing the temple bell every morning, a seemingly simple job. But this monk, he was determined to find deeper meaning in every task. One morning as he rang the bell, he kept his focus solely on the sound. He didn't anticipate the next ring, he didn't think about anything else. He just listened to the sound as it faded into silence. And in that silence, he found true peace. He realized that even in the simplest acts, there lies profound wisdom if we just learn to listen. We live in a world that's constantly talking, constantly demanding our attention. But what if I told you that true power lies not in speaking, but in listening? Are you ready to listen? Think about a time you were in nature, surrounded by complete silence. How did it make you feel? Did you notice a sense of calmness washing over you? That's the power of silence. It allows us to connect with ourselves on a deeper level. In a world saturated with noise, silence can feel almost deafening. We're constantly bombarded with information, with opinions, with distractions. But it's in the quiet moments, when we silence the external noise, that we can truly hear our own inner voice. Silence isn't about the absence of sound. It's about the presence of awareness. It's about creating space for reflection, for introspection, for connecting with our intuition. It's in these moments of stillness that we gain clarity, that we find our center.
Think of silence as a form of meditation. Just like we train our bodies to become stronger, we can train our minds to become quieter. And the more we practice silence, the more comfortable we become with it. The benefits of embracing silence are profound. It reduces stress, improves focus, enhances creativity, and allows us to become more self-aware. It's in the quiet moments that we can process our emotions, reflect on our experiences, and connect with our true selves.
Instead of always feeling the need to fill the space with words, allow for pauses. Remember, silence is not a void to be feared, but a space to be embraced. Have you ever had a conversation with someone where you felt truly heard, truly understood? It's a powerful feeling, isn't it? That's the magic of active listening. Active listening goes beyond simply hearing the words someone is saying. It's about being fully present in the conversation, engaging with the speaker, and making a conscious effort to understand their perspective. When we listen actively, we create a safe space for open and honest communication. We show the other person that we value their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. One of the key elements of active listening is nonverbal communication. Make eye contact, nod your head, and use open body language to show that you're engaged in the conversation.
Another important aspect is asking clarifying questions. Don't be afraid to ask for more information or to rephrase what the speaker has said to ensure you understand their meaning. Avoid interrupting or interjecting your own opinions while the other person is speaking. Active listening isn't just about understanding the words being spoken, it's about understanding the emotions behind them. When you become an active listener, you'll notice a significant improvement in your relationships.
Imagine for a moment stepping into someone else's shoes, seeing the world through their eyes, feeling their joys and sorrows as your own. That's the power of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. It's about connecting with their humanity, recognizing that we are all interconnected, and that their experiences, though different from our own, are no less valid. When we approach our interactions with empathy, we open ourselves up to a deeper level of understanding. We move beyond judgment and criticism, and instead, we approach others with compassion and kindness. Empathy allows us to build bridges instead of walls. It helps us to navigate difficult conversations with grace and sensitivity, and to find common ground even in the midst of disagreements.
One of the most powerful ways to cultivate empathy is through storytelling. When we share our stories with each other, we create a space for vulnerability and connection. We allow others to see into our hearts and to understand the experiences that have shaped us. When we truly listen to someone, when we make an effort to understand their perspective, we open ourselves up to the possibility of seeing the world through their eyes.
The rewards of cultivating empathy are immeasurable. Chapter 4. The Art of Asking Questions. Think back to a time when someone asked you a question that truly made you think. It wasn't a superficial question, but one that sparked your curiosity, made you reflect, and perhaps even helped you to see things from a new perspective. John, questions are powerful tools for learning, for building relationships, and for fostering deeper understanding. When we ask questions, we demonstrate a genuine interest in the other person and a desire to learn more about their experiences. The key to asking effective questions is to be curious, to approach the conversation with an open mind and a willingness to listen without judgment. Avoid asking yes or no questions that can shut down the conversation. Instead, ask open-ended questions that encourage the other person to share their thoughts and feelings more fully. John, for example, instead of asking, "Did you have a good day?" try asking, "What was the best part of your day?" This type of question invites the other person to share more detail and allows for a more engaging conversation. Don't be afraid to ask follow-up questions. If something the other person says sparks your curiosity, dig a little deeper. Remember, the goal of asking questions is not to interrogate or to challenge, but to understand. Chapter 5. Reflective Thinking, the Path to Self-Improvement. Have you ever wished you could hit rewind on a conversation? Not to change what you said, but to analyze it, to understand the nuances, to see yourself and the interaction more clearly. Lars' reflective thinking is like holding a mirror up to our interactions, our thoughts, and our actions. It's about taking the time to process our experiences, to learn from them, and to grow as individuals. It's so easy to go through life on autopilot, reacting to situations without truly considering the why behind our actions. But when we engage in reflective thinking, we become more conscious, more deliberate, and more intentional in our approach to life. One of the simplest ways to practice reflective thinking is to journal. Take some time each day to reflect on your interactions, your thoughts, and your emotions. What went well? What could have gone better? What did you learn from the experience? Lars, another powerful technique is to engage in self-questioning. Ask yourself questions like, what were my intentions in that situation? How did my actions impact others? What could I have done differently? Reflective thinking isn't about dwelling on the past or beating ourselves up for our mistakes. When we engage in reflective thinking, we become more self-aware, more empathetic, and more effective communicators. Chapter 6. Implementing Change, from Listening to Action. We've explored the power of silence, the importance of active listening, the beauty of empathy, the art of asking questions, and the transformative power of reflective thinking. Now it's time to put these principles into action. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey, not a destination. Be patient with yourself and celebrate each step you take towards becoming a more conscious and effective communicator. Start by incorporating more silence into your day. Dedicate a few minutes each morning to sit in stillness and connect with yourself. Observe your thoughts without judgment and allow yourself to simply be present in the moment. Practice active listening in your conversations. Pay attention to both the verbal and non-verbal cues of the speaker. Ask clarifying questions and make a conscious effort to understand their perspective. Cultivate empathy by actively seeking to understand the experiences of others. Read books, watch documentaries, and engage in conversations that expose you to different perspectives and walks of life. Make a conscious effort to ask more questions. Approach your conversations with curiosity and a genuine desire to learn. Remember, the journey to becoming a better listener is an ongoing process. Chapter 7. The Power of Listening. As we've discovered, the journey to self-improvement begins with the simple act of listening. When we embrace silence, practice active listening, cultivate empathy, ask the right questions, and reflect on our experiences, we unlock a world of understanding, connection, and growth. If you enjoyed this video and found it valuable, please consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the like button. Share this video with your friends and family who might also benefit from learning the power of listening. Remember, when you talk, you are only repeating what you already know, but if you listen, you may learn something new. Dalai Lama.